Good morning. Today is Iowa Caucus, so I hope to get this video up on time because it's fun, right? So I've done an aggregate regarding the polling, and by the way, this is like the third or fourth attempt that I'm doing this video because I keep doing the escape thing, so I changed the hotkey. Sometimes you can't really break muscle memory. So what I've done here is I have the last 7 polls, so 7 final polls. Emerson, NBC, that's Des Moines Register one, Insider Advantage, Suffolk, Iowa State, Trafalgar, and Big Data poll, so that's Barris. He did that. So, minimum for Trump is 48%, maximum is 55%. For Nikki Haley, it is minimum 14%, maximum 20.6%. DeSantis minimum is 12.6, maximum is roughly 17.6. Yep, that's the one. Ramaswamy minimum is 4.8, maximum is 11.9. Binkley minimum is, well, if he's taken along it's 1, if he's not taken along it's 2.4. Hutchinson minimum is about 0.3%, maximum 1.7. Castro, Stuckenberg, and Swift, I took them along for the ride, but they are not polling anything, so whatever, right? I'm of the opinion that if you do a poll, that you take into account every single candidate that's in the running, and not the ones that have dropped out. So, in a presidential election, for an example, you take into account at the end of the ballot, so we're talking about general election polling, you say Republican candidate, Democrat candidate, Libertarian, Green, and whatever third party comes after it. You need to take all those account in your poll. Give people as many choices as possible. That creates an honest representation of the ballot that they're going to get once you do a vote. That's how you do proper polling. Suppression polling is when you only have 2 candidates. Let's say Democrat, Republican. We saw this with Whitmer against Dixon in Michigan for the gubernatorial race back in 22. That's a problem because you're taking out 3 candidates that are on the ballot, and each of them are going to take at least 1% of the vote. And of course, you don't take that into account. So we have this aggregate 52.5 for Trump, 18.2 for Haley, 14.9 for DeSantis, 7.3 for Ramaswamy, 0.8 for Binkley, 0.5 for Hutchinson, and the red gets 0. That's roughly 5.8% unaccounted for, and we can't really tell which way they're going to swing. What we can say is that in the case of Emerson, half of undecideds go to Trump. And for the other ones, we haven't really seen proper data points for that. Standard deviation is 2.5 for Trump, 2.4 for Haley and Ramaswamy, 2 for DeSantis, 1 for Binkley, and 0.6 for Hutchinson, which brings Trump between an estimated vote margin between 50 and 55%, which translates to 20 and 22 delegates. Exactly. Haley 15.8% to 20.6%, which means 6.3 to 8.2 delegates. DeSantis 13 to 16.9%. Nice. So that's 5.2 delegates and 6.8. So rounded up to 7. Ramaswamy between 4.8 and 9.7, which is rounded to 1.9 delegate and 3.9 delegates, respectively, so that's between 2 and 4. Binkley, well, that's minus 0.3 to 1.8, so effectively it means between 0 and 1 delegates. Same goes for Hutchinson, between negative 0.1 and 1.2%, so between 0 and 1%, so there's a slightly greater chance that Binkley gets a delegate in comparison to Hutchinson. That's all the mathematics says in this case. We can go for each individual one. Yeah, we're at 4 minutes. We can do that, right? So, Emerson, that is 22 delegates for Trump, 8 for Haley, 6 for DeSantis, 2 for Ramaswamy, 1 for Hutchinson. That brings us at 30, 36, 38, 39. So the final delegate goes to Haley. She has the highest fractional remainder, 8.2, so that becomes 9 delegates for Haley. So Trump, healthy lead of 13 delegates. Second one, NBC poll, Trump 19 delegates, Haley 8, DeSantis 6, Ramaswamy 3, Binkley and Hutchinson each at 0.4, so that becomes 0. That means, let's see, 19, 27, 33, 36, so that's 4 leftover delegates. Now I'm just doing here, so that's Hutchinson, Binkley, DeSantis, and the last one can go to Trump or Ramaswamy, let's say Trump. So again, Trump gets 20 delegates, so that's the majority. Against the nearest would be Haley with 8. So that is a 12 delegate lead. Insider advantage, Trump at 20, Haley at 7 delegates, DeSantis at 7, Ramaswamy at 3 delegates, and the rest doesn't get anything, so that's 34, 37 delegates. Trump is the only one that needs to be rounded up, so that's a delegate for him, so 21. And the other two, well, basically, who can tell where it goes? We don't know that, so that's kind of what the small margins are doing here. Suffolk, Trump 22, Haley 8, DeSantis 5, Ramaswamy 3, so we are at 38 delegates. So DeSantis and Haley each get a delegate. So again, Trump leading by 13 delegates. Iowa State, I think you all get the point here, right? It comes across properly rounding up, and in the case you have anything left over, you add it to whichever has the largest fractional remainder. There's no threshold here, unlike with New Hampshire. So you need to take that into account. There's another thing that I want to say here, and that's the Christie voter. Half of them go to Haley, and then a quarter of them go to DeSantis, and the remaining quarter goes to essentially whoever, as long as it's not Trump. What this does in Iowa, not much. It's maybe taking to 1 delegate margin of error. Let's see, all the margins of errors I have stated as well, including the sample sizes of each poll. There's not much else to say, really. Trump is going to win it, of course. No one actually expected anything else. So Trump's going to win it, is going to get a simple majority, dependent on how bad the weather is. We also notice an enthusiasm gap. For Trump, 88%, something like that, ridiculous margin, is definitely going. In the case of DeSantis, it's roughly 60%, and in the case of Haley, it's about 40%. So if the weather is really bad, you're going to see a performance peak of Trump. Now, is there another thing that we need to notice here? Yes, Nikki Haley doesn't really have a ground game in Iowa, which will translate to an underperformance in the polling. So what I have here is at 18.2. I'm thinking it's going to be a little low. It's going to be like 17%, maybe 17.5. That is dependent on what A, the Chris Christie voter is going to do here, and B, the turnout. That's all that matters right now. There's not much else to it, I guess. Trump's going to win, kind of easy, and I expect, with DeSantis coming in at 3rd place, that he is going to drop out after Iowa. And he will endorse Nikki Haley. That's going to happen. Thank you kindly for watching. Stay absolutely safe out there in Iowa. I heard it's going to be a fucking blizzard. And it's going to be like -20, so stay safe. God help you. And have fun today. Cheers.